Hello everyone, welcome back. This is RandoGEEK. We have a major update regarding T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, and even Sprint. That's right, you remember Sprint, which is now owned by T-Mobile. Even they're a part of this article here, which I will link for you down below in the description. So the headline here, what we're talking about is the FCC is apparently going to fine major wireless carriers, which is T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, and Sprint, that we know of. I don't know if there's going to be more carriers that come out of the woodwork that are announced for being a part of this. But anyway, the whole situation here is they're being fined a very large sum, which we're going to cover, in regards to a 2019 investigation in which customer location data was sold off by these major wireless carriers. So getting into the article, it looks like the major wireless carriers in the country are currently facing a fine from the Federal Communications Commission, aka the FCC, for illegally selling the location data of its customers without their consent. So they're saying this marks the end of a 2019 investigation into how carriers disregarded the privacy of its customers. So what this means is basically if you have a smartphone, whether it's an iPhone or an Android, you more than likely turned off location sharing. Even if you have it on, I'm sure you've opted out of, having a third party, having your cell phone company, aka Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, at the time Sprint. You've turned off the ability for them to share your information, your data, your location with other third party companies. It looks like they went ahead and did it anyway, which is why this lawsuit is in effect and why they're going to be paying a lot of money for this. Basically, they've given you an option to turn off location tracking, to opt out of location sharing with third-party vendors. They've given you the option, but they went ahead and did it anyway. So they lied to you. They tricked you, and they took your information, and they sold it to other carriers or other, companies in efforts to try to sell something to you. And this, of course, is poor business practice for starters, and it's also against the law. It's a lie. It's a flat-out lie. And it's considerably dangerous is what they're talking about here. So according to the FCC's investigation, carriers like AT&T, Sprint, Verizon, and T-Mobile sold the location of its customers' data to aggregators. In turn, these aggregators sold the data to third parties like credit card companies, law enforcement agencies, and even bounty hunters. According to FCC Chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel, she has said in a statement, "Our communications provider has access to some of the most sensitive information about us. These carriers failed to protect the information and entrusted to them. Here we are talking about some of the most sensitive data in their possession, customers' real-time location information, revealing where they go and who they are." So based on the FCC's probe, the carriers are facing fines amounting to the following. So T-Mobile, $80 million, AT&T, $57 million, Verizon, $47 million, and good old Sprint, former Sprint, $12 million. So now I don't know if T-Mobile is going to inherit that $12 million. So that would place T-Mobile at $92 million if that's the case. There may be an option for them to write it off. I'm not really sure. I mean, I want to say that they're probably going to be responsible for it because they took on Sprint's debt and it's now their company. So either way, that's a hefty fine, $92 million just for T-Mobile alone. Then the $57 million for AT&T and $47 million for Verizon. This is not just a chunk change. This is a large amount of money to be hit with over something as silly as this. Now, of course, it is important that actions be taken because if you've opted out, these companies have to learn to respect your wishes. If a customer doesn't want their information to be shared, they have to do better on respecting that, especially since that information can get into the wrong hands of somebody or a company that doesn't have the best track record of keeping data secure. And yeah, who knows what could happen, right? Things can go wrong. Your information can be placed on a dark web. You can have all kinds of problems. It could be even worse. Now, the fact that it was placed in the hands of bounty hunters, that's just a little bit funny to me, but it's serious. And it could have been, in some ways a very, very bad ending for some people, and it shouldn't have been. It's not the wireless carrier's job to go ahead and give your information out to whomever they feel like it. So I get why this lawsuit is in place, and unfortunately they have to learn the hard way. Will they learn? Probably not. They've been doing this for years. There's not really any way to teach these companies. They'll just figure out a way to write off the write-off, and that's basically it. They'll, consider it a loss for business and move on with the day. But, these types of things, as I've said before, are a lot of why we hear at the end of the year why these companies are crying about not having enough capital to invest in their business. It's silly mistakes like this that take away a large amount of money. $80 million is a lot of money that could have been reinvested into T-Mobile. And again, if they're paying for Sprint's mess up, which then most likely they are, that's $92 million for T-Mobile. You know what they could have done with that money? Same thing for AT&T and Verizon. The 57 million, 47 million, a lot of money that could have been reinvested into the company, offering better plans and perks and discounts to customers, building out a better quality network, advertisement money, whatever it is. All could have been used for something better, not silly mistakes like this. But it is what it is. Unfortunately, this is the way business works. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.